Hi guys. So, um, I'm going to try something new that, for me, not really a content creator, but I do like to upload every once in a while when I have been, I guess, incited to talk about something. And so today I'm going to combine a little rant with a kind of get ready with me. So I'm a skincare person. I'm in my 40s, and it do take nerve to age with good skin. And so people always ask me like what's my routine and things like that. So I do have a little routine, no matter where I am in the world, no matter what I do, because I do travel a lot and I'm a bit of a nomad. I'm in the process of relocating to somewhere on the Southwest right now. And so, yeah, so today, I wanted to, the thing that prompted a response is a video I just watched from a content creator. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. JustKTBH. I'll put the link in the description below. Um, and the title of the video was "Stop Ruining Things for Kids." Of course, on cue, there's a helicopter because this is District 9, apparently. But anyways, so first things first, while I'm talking about this, I'm going to put in my eye drops because every morning I wake up and my eyes are parched and in the worst pain. Um, Dry eyes run in my family. This is what I use. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if I have to do all that for you to see it, but anyways, Clear Eyes Cooling Comfort. Um, I had a rag around here somewhere. Hold up. Okay, hey y'all. So, anyways, Justin, I've seen him like I think his name is Kingsley, but I'm not sure. He Let me get the name of this guy. I feel so bad because I was just watching his video and I was looking at him thinking, oh, I love his face, and I've seen him so many times over the years. Um, his name is. I'm scrolling through my timeline. Uh, okay, Just King TBH, and I think his name is Kingsley. And I've seen his content. I've seen him on other channels. He's one of those content creators, one of those Black queer content creators who seems to pop up on social media, kind of like everywhere. And the name of the video is "Stop Ruining Things for Younger People," and I really have seen this trend of with social media especially. And I really appreciate younger people protecting their right to be young. Um, I am a kid of the 90s and I'm 42 now. And I will tell you for a fact in the 90s, and probably, before that, there was not a lot of separation between the older and the younger when it came to us having our party moment. Um, there A lot of my partying when I was um I started when I was a teenager. Started going to clubs when I was like 14. um so it's like I went straight from house parties to nightclubbing. I think a lot of that time period I was exposed to a lot of things I probably shouldn't have been. Um, and I did grow up a little fast, but that was me. Like, I don't believe that every kid, I know every kid wasn't sneaking out to clubs at 14, 15. There were a lot of reasons for this. There weren't a lot of queer spaces for teens, and the nightclubs kind of had this like unspoken rule, like if you were in the club, um, before a certain time, it didn't matter if you stayed all night, and for the most part, um, the younger generation stayed away from the older generation, but because we knew each other and we were only looking at each other. But I'm sure that a lot of not so great things probably, happened. And I know there's a lot of music, a lot of um, very adult material that I was exposed to in my teen years that I probably would not have been if I had just like been a good high school student and played sports or some crazy shit like that. Okay, so now that my eyes have stopped tearing, so I don't use water on my face um, often, and people are like, "Ew, that's gross." I When I wash my face in the shower, I use a face wash. Right now, I've been using this Aveeno wash, um, but usually, even if I do that, I'll do something like this after. I like um, facial wipes with micellar water. This one is Shea Moisture, 100% virgin coconut oil, and it's like a black soap coconut milk facial wipe. And they are makeup removers, but I don't know, maybe it's just I just like seeing the dirt come off. I like seeing that. Um, I like seeing the rag get a little dingy and, um, say never pull down, always push up. Um, Also, this depuffs. So, a lot of a lot of the the chubbiness in your face, the roundness of your face is congestion. So, you can massage your face and sort of put your you know features on, bring your features to the forefront by massaging away the congestion in your face, getting the fluid out of your face that usually, puffs up when you sleep. So, but yeah, so I kind of pat with this and pat with this until I look at it and it's like, it looks a little dingy, and that makes me feel satisfied that I've done something, whether or not it's really any better or not than soap and water. I just, the reason I don't like soap and water is because like even though it lathers up, it doesn't make me ever feel clean, really. Like no matter what I do, I just feel like the soap then sits and gives a residue, and then even when you use toner, then you're really like double cleaning your face if you don't use something with the toner like the little cotton squares and stuff like that. And I don't like using that with toner because I feel like toner has a purpose for your skin, which is to rebalance it. And I tone twice. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. Kingsley's rant about ruining things for kids. So, like I said, I was probably ruined as a kid, but I do think there is, and I've taken some human development classes, there's a really big point to growing up and establishing your independence and individuality and autonomous sense of the world by gauging it against the world that already exists. And I think it's really important that one of the things you learn as a young person is how to, you know, take what you need and leave the rest behind. And I do see with this younger generation, especially exposed to so many opinions through social media, that they have just zero tolerance for opinions of older people, especially. So that's their way of sort of managing this onslaught of information is to say, oh, this person's old, or this person is um, not letting me have my young moment for some reason or another. And he brought up his main example of this was the Nicki Minaj, the Little Kim versus Nicki Minaj rivalry, and now the Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, the new rap girls versus the older rap girls. And I have to specifically the Nicki Minaj versus the Little Kim thing is not it's not the same thing as what's going on with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. I do think it's particularly ironic that Nicki Minaj is publicly going through the same uh, issue that started the beef with her and Little Kim, and I think that it was especially for Black pop culture. You know, in Black pop culture, we have always had a sort of passing of the torch, a passing of the baton. This has kind of been a relay race to get somebody to the stature of a Beyonce. Janet Jackson did not have what Beyonce is receiving in her as she's having this career. Like Janet Jackson's 20s and 30s did not look like Beyonce's 20s and 30s. It took Janet to get into her late 40s, 50s for her to get her flowers. And a lot of that a lot of what the success of having a Beyonce, a touring Black pop act, has come from us taking this entertainment economy very seriously. A lot of what the basis was of the Little Kim versus Nicki Minaj thing was that Little Kim was on her way to being the first pop hip hop sensation, and it was derailed, and it sucked. Um, and I think when Nicki Minaj came around, and then this also coincides with social media, there was this exposure to a lot of us disgruntled 30 somethings at the time on social media talking about um, the fact that we felt like Nicki Minaj was a plant. Like she was a I mean, you would have to really you wouldn't understand. And you kept saying like you're not going to feel it the way we feel it because you're not going to understand what it was like for us to see Little Kim go from, hardcore to being this pop mainstream sensation while keeping her sexuality, while keeping her Brooklynness. We saw this coming and then it derailed, and she had bars on bars on bars. And then Nicki Minaj comes along talking about scoop doodle doop de doop de doop. I love that. Humpty my hoopty hoopty. We were like, are you kidding me? Doing voices and acting all animated and crazy. We were just like, you've got to be kidding me. And then we heard the music in the album, and it was pretty solid music. I mean, it was, it was strange. First of all, there was a Nicki Minaj, there was the Beam Me Up Scotty Nicki Minaj, where we heard Itty Bitty Picky, and we were like, yes, come on in. And then Starships came, and we were like, they got us. they bamboozled us. This is a clone. Uh, Something is wrong. So there, I think a younger person, like Kingsley said, he was in his teen years when this was happening. He would not have known that. But this also comes from another Black tradition of like, this is this is a passing of the torch thing. So when Little Kim came out, um, we were shocked and titillated, and we were like listening to hardcore with our headphones under our blankets, and you know, everybody was talking about how she was talking about things that I mean, it was she was just so forward sexually and all these things, and we didn't really have a black artist who said that. And then the older generation, our parents, and the uncles at the barbershop were like, "You ever heard of Millie Jackson?" Well, you ain't never heard nothing till you heard Millie Jackson. And the older queer people were like, "You ever heard of Sweet Pussy Pauline?" Like, you want to talk about raunchy and raw lyrics. And then, I mean, there were the older generation than that, my grandmother and them, who were like introducing us to, the blues artists and the codes of those songs, of like words like bonberry pie and blackberry pie, and that women did refer to their vaginas as cocks. And like, I'm probably like totally demonetized by now, but there is a tradition. It's an oral history of passing the torch in Black pop culture, because we never got the mainstream coverage that uh, the we weren't getting the front page of Time magazine with Little Kim being a intersectional feminist icon like Madonna was. Thought pieces on the sexuality of Little Kim. That stuff would come much later, but that came after a Millie Jackson, or even like the Candy Girls, or Vanity Six. Uh, I can't really think. I mean, those were women who were kind of under another artist agency, but they were still women who used their sexuality and pushed to the forefront. Grace Jones, who was just like walking sex. Um, she didn't get her due or flowers at her time. She just walked around being an underground icon for years. But yeah, there is a tradition of, especially in the Black community, of passing the baton, and it's, for some reason, with the advent of social media, and I think it might be, I might be a victim of the same thing. I'm seeing the annoyance more from the younger generation, that I probably would not be able to shrug off. But like, I do see this increasing crescendo of people who are younger just sort of being like, ugh, people in their 40s and 50s, ugh, ugh. And it's just like, okay, go do something then. Like, just because you've got your social media and you've got a career, talking in your bedroom, and you've gone to a few protests and you've written a letter or two, does not mean you've accomplished anything. um, you know, the Alexandria, the AOCs of the world and the Ayanna Presleys of the world, like, that's my generation. Like, that's the upper 30s, early 40s. Like, we have been the Gen X, late millennial, elder millennials. We have been fighting a hard fight for a long time. So, like, give us a break. Like, you're kind of playing. You came into social media as teenagers, but that was really our space. You were like the kids when I was coming into the club at 14, 15, coming into the space that was built for adults, really, and being judgmental about how we danced, how they danced, or what music they were listening to. Um, and I just feel like when it especially comes to like minorities, like double minorities, if you're black and gay, um, you know, give some people the space to be older. Like, give it a rest. Like, stop being so, that annoyance, that irritation you feel, that is teenage angst. That you're irritated with yourself. You're not irritated with the older adults. You're irritated with the fact that you don't know and you want to know, and you just haven't had the chance yet to find out. Okay, so now that my face feels a little bit dry from the wipes, I do two toners. So first, I pat a toner in, and this is Neutrogena alcohol-free toner. See, I shouldn't be scrunching up my face like that. I'm trying to keep these wrinkles out. I'm fighting the wrinkles. Um, so I tone, and that's supposed to balance your face from like the acidity of soap and whatever stripped away from the soap and bring back up your pH level. And I love these. I'm obsessed with these. You probably can't even see these things. So this is First Day Beauty, and I just get these. They're called kits from Sephora, and you get like a face wash, these radiance pads, and their ultra repair cream. And they've reformulated the ultra repair cream, and it's so much. It's got so much more. It absorbs better now. It used to be thick, but now it's much easier to work with. So, anyways, First Aid Beauty has these things called first radiance pads, and I use those. And they exfoliate on one side, and I think it's more of a like chemical exfoliant. It's got lactic acid, and it's got like a little texture on the pad, which you're not gonna see, but like maybe there you can see, and yeah, I do get in the beard because you do get a little irritation under the beard, and then you're supposed to be able to like flip it on the other side, and this is like the toning side, which doesn't make any sense. It's the same. It's the same chemicals. Well, whatever, child. It seems to work. I just love them. And then I mean, like, still dirt coming off. It's just crazy. It's like, that's why it's like it's. I don't know. I'm just obsessed. It's just never enough. So then I let that dry. Okay, so while that's drying, so yeah, so he Kingsley went on about the continuation of his irritation with people commenting on their opinion of newer stars and comparing them to older stars. And yeah, I mean, I think also um, with the Nicki Minaj situation is Nicki Minaj just like she's in the middle of a career. Like I think she has the opportunity to keep going like a Beyonce and keep making music that's relevant and being relevant to pop culture and touring. And Black artists often have to fight for this space to continue at the level of greatness that they have promoted themselves to be in, and the industry easily sort of gobbles them up and spits them out. So I think a big part of this rivalry thing, it does keep relevancy, but there's an economy behind this. I mean, these are jobs too. Like this isn't just about like fun stuff. I mean, we like to joke about the looks and the wigs and the hair and all these things and keep it very very surface. But the truth of the matter is, pop music is a global industry. When Beyonce went on tour, when the last tour. Oh gosh, with her and her husband, the Carters, they go on tour. I can't think of the name of it, but I was a part of that tour, and I did the VIP sections at those tours, and you just hand out the wristbands and checking off lists or whatever. But that was like 17 trucks that was 30 dancers, a full band. That was stadium employees and parking lot attendants. And, then there's ancillary promoters and parties and, bus trips. And, pop music is an economy. It almost feels like, I feel like saying to people who try to downplay uh, the importance of pop music and pop entertainment. I want to like do the whole Meryl Streep, like, oh, so you think that you're exempt from, you know, the whole cerulean sweater speech because it is, it creates whole, not just economies, but like, I mean, you're stuck in traffic on one part of town because Beyonce is in town. You're, like when the queen comes in town, things shut down. Like you're going to nightclubs, and why is there a huge line there? Because like some random celebrity from 20 years ago has decided to do a pop up, or it's TMZ would be nothing. So social media would be nothing without pop stars. Uh, so like to treat it like it's not a serious thing at all is it's kind of silly. It does matter. It's not. It's sure. It's not like necessarily changing the world, but it is. In a lot of ways, it is. I mean, it's where we talk about the gender issues and if it wasn't for Little Nas X not being a super great performer, but putting himself out there visually, openly queer, like we wouldn't be having these discussions. I mean, the past week alone has shown you how important it is for pop artists to, speak on things that they know about. I mean, the baby, hello, like, can we please get a break for HIV stigma? Like, I mean, during COVID, like, I mean, really, can we get some pro science talk? But yeah, I mean, pop culture, that's what it's been for. It's been the chrysalis, the 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 experimental the lab for what's going on, the litmus test of what's going on in the world. So all of a sudden, for you to like boil it down to be like your fave versus my fave, stan culture is not really true. It's not necessarily just about that. And I know you don't want to, believe that just, people chatting on social media contributes to that, but people watch those numbers, they watch engagement, they watch trending topics, and that informs how people market things, and that's jobs. So it's an economy to this, and so there's a tradition to it, there's an economy to this. It is much more serious than just you know who had crazy pink hair first. I mean, was it, Nicki Minaj? Was it Khalees? Was it Cyndi Lauper? Like, did they steal all of it from drag queens? Like, and did drag queens steal all of it from, crazy black women in Baltimore in the 50s? Like, who knows? But it's fun to talk about, but it's also, it means a lot to a lot of people. It means money to hairdressers and makeup artists and creative directors, and now social media content creators. You guys talk and make money through these things. So even complaining about it is gonna, create ad revenue for you, Kingsley. Not necessarily for me yet, but um, it's a little disingenuous to me to say that it's inconsequential, it doesn't matter, and things like climate change and Black Lives matter only. We have to enjoy our lives. Like the banter back and forth about fans versus fans is just, it's fun and fluff, and it's also money. It's very important. So yeah, now that I have exfoliated, toned twice, then I exfoliate my lips. This I got from B- B- Bath and Body Works, and I always just pop in there randomly, even though I love the scents and things. Wait, I'm gonna have to be quiet while I do this. Prince of Tides. It's not about Prince of Tides. Princess nor Tides. Talk amongst yourselves. See, that's a old ditty right there that you probably don't know anything about. You probably don't know about the Prince of Tides or that joke. Oh, Lord, it's so old. Um, and no, it does not usually take me 30 minutes to do all this stuff. I just I'm just chit chatting with you guys at the same time. Um, and I think I basically got out what I wanted to say, anyways. Like, stop acting like it has no bearing on the real world. Like, stan culture has no bearing on the real world. It moves whole industries. Twitter would be nothing without it. Stop acting, you know, stop being annoyed. I mean, that's a part of growing up is when you stop being annoyed by hearing other opinions or hearing what older people or people from other cultures have to say about what is exciting you. That's just the name of the game in art and culture. um, I think Nicki versus Cardi or Cardi versus Little Kim is way better than what they, every time Beyonce, cites a reference from some contemporary artist or some pop artist in Eastern Europe or something like that, and they're like, she's a thief. Like, I think it's a lot more fun to have a conversation about like pop artists versus pop artists and who reference what and what's the endless loop of cultural like feeding and all these things. Those things are just fun. Um, okay, so now I'm moisturizing. Do a little bit of this ultra repair cream, and like I said, they reformulated it. It used to be really thick, and you couldn't do this. And this is how I love to put on moisturizers. I like to press it into my skin. And look at all that hyperpigmentation. Hello. They don't have nothing for that. Put makeup on my neck, it'll end up all in here. So, yeah, just, let people. Nobody's ruining anything for kids. That is part of being a kid, is having adults be like, you ain't seen nothing, you don't know nothing. That's part of it because that's going to follow you everywhere in life. Every job you go to, you know, that's just how it is. You're in a public square talking to people of all generations. Maybe there should be a block on social media so that you don't receive any opinions of anybody over a certain age. Maybe that's it. Maybe they should filter content, but I think that's really counterproductive to growing up. Like you need to hear from the older generation. You need to hear that like somebody's not doing something fresh and new. So you're not out here thinking out here reinventing the wheel. Like that, everything repeats. It goes in cycles. Things are fresh. Every once in a while, they're original, and you need to know how to appreciate them as such. And I do think it's really much more important now that the older generation does remind people like this isn't so new. Like you guys had like a blip in the matrix here where you just sort of think that these things are new. Even like when we were complaining about super bass and being like, what the hell is that? And we were like, Little Kim was rapping, real lyrics about real stuff, and we were comparing that. My grandmother's generation came around and they were just like, oh, you think that's ridiculous? Uh, you want to know what it was like the first time we heard a tisket a tasket? Like, like the stuff that pop culture latched onto from black culture when we had this like Paul Robesons and Mahalia Jacksons, and we had these operatic huge voices, like you were coming home and listening to Leontine Prices and these beautiful well trained classical voices in your communities. And then the recording academy was promoting a tisket a tasket. They thought they were making fun of us. But yeah, that's just the older generation's job. Let them do their job. Communicate with us. Like, you talk to younger people. Like, don't be on the side of just letting your teenage irritation be the thing that you lean into for them. You're a teenager. You're always irritated. You don't have to co-sign that for them. Like, you don't need to be a pick me older person. They will be irritated on their own, Kingsley. So anyways, this was a longer video than I expected it to be. Oh, the last thing I put on was this is Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. um, this I love. And I do that mainly because on Saturdays and Sundays I do this. Hold up. I do this alpha beta extra strength daily peel by Dr. Dennis Gross. I've been using these pads for a long time. If there's any secret to my skin, it's probably this. And I also use a prescription retinol every once in a while, and that's why I don't really have a lot of acne scarring, because when you don't get a lot of acne and you do get a zit, even if you don't pop it or mess with it necessarily, it still will leave a little mark. But anyways, that's my skincare routine. That is me ranting about something that inspired me to talk about it today. Kingsley, and any other queer person under, I would say 35, like, give it a rest, child. Like, listen to people over 40, like, have conversations, stop being irritated. The irritated part is the part that's immature. Like, you will grow out of being irritated with older people when you soon realize you're going to be doing the same thing, and you're going to be doing it for different reasons. So, um, yeah. Okay, bye.